Hey everyone, how are you? My name is Camilo Velasquez, and I'll be your co-host here at Concacafing. This is a platform created for you from us to talk about CONCACAF soccer or football, whatever you want to call it. And I will be introducing my good friend and colleague Alex Vanegas, who's also gonna be part of this new project. Alex, how are you?
Hey, Camilo, very nice seeing you once again. Ready to talk about CONCACAF. Listen, there's a lot of things going on. First of all, I would like to say thank you. This is a new project. I hope we get the response that we are hoping to get. It's going to be really interesting to see and to talk about different things in CONCACAF, things that you don't usually hear, things that you don't usually hear from regular media, right? I mean, here we are. It's a soccer show. You said it right. Soccer equals football. Football equals soccer. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. We're going to talk about every single thing that you can think of in CONCACAF.
Who is CONCACAFing and what is this project? Since this is CONCACAFing number one, we are very thankful that you're watching this video. If you're watching this video, it's because you're part of our immediate circles, and so we appreciate you watching. Please share, please subscribe. We're going to be very active around the CONCACAF region, and just like Alex said, we're not going to be doing the traditional CONCACAF show. You know, we're gonna share with you stories around CONCACAF that you probably didn't know about. We're gonna talk about women's soccer. We're gonna talk about the young teams in CONCACAF. We're gonna share stories with you, and obviously, we're gonna share our journey as we are covering different parts of this amazing region, which is called CONCACAF. So, who are we?
Yeah, just a little. Who are we? That's right. We've been working together for almost 15 years now. We started back in ESPN on the local level with Acción Centroamérica, which is a Central American show. You know, obviously, Central American community has always been put to the side. You know, because a lot of people think that it's CONCACAF. It's only Mexico, U.S., and Canada, right? So we started back in 2009 with Acción Centroamérica. We actually jumped on board 2 years after that. It's been amazing. We're not new, and let me say that and said it loud and clear. We are not new in CONCACAF. We've been covering Gold Cups, Nations League, every single tournament that you can think of. We actually done play by play for CONCACAF for different radio stations nationwide, as ESPN Deportes Radio in Spanish and TUDN, which is a Univision sports station, or was a Univision station, throughout 22 cities in the United States. So we're not new to CONCACAF. So that's why Camilo said, we have a lot of information, we have a lot of insights about CONCACAF, and not only about national teams. We have a lot of insights regarding, local teams, from Central America to the U.S. We work very close with MLS, so it's an honor to be here. Camilo, you've been doing sports anchor for you've actually been sports anchor for almost 20 years, if I'm not mistaken. So it is an honor to share with you another part of our CONCACAF love, our CONCACAF passion.
Definitely. And so we're going to be sharing a lot of that passion with you. Let's talk about the CONCACAF Champions Cup,
Oh,
because
is that how we're starting today?
it's coming up, and that's how we're starting. We're going all in today. The most important tournament club level is starting very soon. So as you're watching this video, this tournament is either about to start, it has already started, or it's been going on for a couple of weeks. But we wanted to share with you a little bit of the brackets. This is what the tournament is going to look like. Again, this is CONCACAF main club tournament, and teams have qualified. The draw has been completed, and this is what brackets are looking like. Alex, you have some very interesting crosses here. Let's start talking about LAFC against the Colorado Rapids, two MLS teams. What a match this is going to be. Remember, this is games played home and away, based on ranking. The lowest team will host the home game, and the highest ranked team will host the away game. So two MLS teams will will face each other, LAFC and the Rapids. Great match.
Great match.
Teams that are kind of starting their preseason. That's one of the big challenges that MLS teams face, Alex, in this tournament. They're not playing their season yet.
And this is going to change, I think, with time. We've obviously seen MLS now stopping for the FIFA window during summer, which is something positive to it. But I think every time you start this tournament, it's about, okay, are the MLS teams really behind because they haven't even started the season when this tournament started to be played. But on the first window that you said, LAFC Colorado, what a game! And not only that, the winner of this bracket will actually play one of the best teams late, in the MLS, which is Columbus Crew. A lot of talks about Columbus not being right, being able to play international. Inter Miami taking their place, but it's going to be a great game for me. LAFC takes the win here. LAFC, it's a team that is been very constant in the MLS. So, a lot of expectation for LAFC this upcoming new season. So I think LAFC will take the bracket.
So LAFC will play their third appearance in this CONCACAF Champions Cup. They've won 7 games. They've lost 5 games. They've tied 1 game. Obviously, they debuted in 2020. This is a very strong team. This is one of the youngest MLS franchises, but it's grown tremendously. It has been a main team since its foundation in the MLS. Versus the Rapids, it's a team that has improved in the past years. The Rapids, it's a team with like ups and downs. Somehow, it's going to be playing its 5th appearance in this tournament. But I agree. I think the LAFC is looked as the favorite team in this bracket, and like you pointed out, whoever makes it to the next stage has guaranteed a very tough matchup against one of the strongest teams in the past decade in MLS, which is the Columbus Crew. So we both agree with LAFC moving ahead versus the Rapids.
We finally agree on something, right? For 15 years, that's one of the things that
we had to start a show in English to agree finally.
That's good. Well, next bracket, Camilo. To me, it's a bracket that we cannot say enough about Inter Miami. Not obviously because of the marketing and all the social media and all the coverage that they're getting, right? In the preseason games or whatever. One of the best player of the world, being with Inter Miami obviously takes the stage. But here it is. For me, one of the keys that is going to be really interesting to see, because nobody expects a lot of things from Sporting FC, right? I mean, obviously, Inter Miami takes the stage. For me, Inter Miami will not. I don't want to say kill this bracket, but Inter Miami will take it.
Right. Let's see the bracket again. The Inter Miami will play their 2nd appearance, and again, this is a matchup between 2 MLS teams. The Sporting Kansas City, which it's one of it's a team that also grew a lot, especially during the years with Peter Verns leading the Sporting Kansas City. It's a team that has quite experience being here. Like we said, Inter Miami will play their 2nd appearance at this international tournament. And I agree. I think the biggest impact with the Miami FC has been an issue of image. They've grown a lot as a franchise based on the presence of not one of the greatest, but the greatest player of all times, which is Lionel Messi. But also they've been able, through David Beckham's leadership, to grow a team with amazing world stars. So you're talking Luis Suarez, you're talking Jordi Alba, Sergio Busquets. This is a team that has grown amazing, that has drawn a lot of attention, both at their stadium, but also digitally on social media. So this is one of the most followed teams in the planet because of the human resources that they've added to this team. I think the Sporting Kansas City is a team that also plays very consistent football, and therefore it's going to be a great matchup. I believe the individualism that Miami FC has should be enough to put them ahead in the next series. And their opponent is going to be Cavalier, which is a team that won. You might ask, why is Cavalier located in the second round already? Well, the answer is Cavalier won the Caribbean Cup of clubs, and that grants you access to the next round. So Inter Miami or Sporting Kansas City will play Cavalier from Jamaica.
You're playing it safe here. Is it going to be Inter Miami or is it going to be Sporting Kansas
It's going to
City?
be Inter Miami. It's going to be Inter Miami. I think the individuals will bring Inter Miami ahead of Sporting Kansas City.
And just to be clear, for the next 2 or 3 games on this bracket or on this round, the first round, I think, for instance, that not to burst any bubble here, but Monterrey Forge. I mean, we completely understand how Monterrey has been playing in the Liga MX. Vancouver Saprissa, that's a close.
And Forge has given very great performances at the international level.
It's not enough, Milo.
The matchup against Monterrey it's a little bit too much. Monterrey is becoming a superpower in the MX Liga MX, and so I think we're going to agree in this that Monterrey should move ahead from the Canadian representative Forge.
One of your teams, Saprissa, it's facing one of the teams that has always been very uncomfortable to play. One of the teams that not only we've seen with surprises during the MLS tournaments or during international matches, but I think Saprissa here has the upper hand. Seeing Saprissa, not the best time for Saprissa in Costa Rica, but I think Saprissa has a really has the upper hand here.
With 38 appearances, Saprissa will face the Vancouver Whitecaps. By the way, the Whitecaps are in Spain doing a very intense preseason. The Canadian side is facing Saprissa. This Saprissa, with the addition of the new Argentinian coach, Jose Giacone, it's struggling in their league. This is the team, Alex, with the most appearances in this CONCACAF club tournament. I will not agree with you. I think the Whitecaps are favored, and we're seeing a little bit. This has been a tournament controlled by the Mexican sides.
And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon, right? I mean,
39 titles for Mexican teams. Costa Rican teams have won this tournament 6 times. You can see there's Saprissa, Cartaginés, Liga Deportiva Alajuelense.
Los Baludos.
And then the U.S. teams have won this tournament 3 times. DC United, 2 of the classics, DC United, LA Galaxy, and the Seattle Sounders have also won this tournament. I think the Whitecaps, I don't like this Giacone process with Saprissa. I think it's a team that, it's building. The Marvin Loria's arrival has granted Saprissa growth. We still yet to see what Sabin Merino, the Spanish forward who played at some point at Deportivo La Coruña, is going to add to Saprissa. I'm going to bring Vancouver Whitecaps ahead of this cross.
Did you say Deportivo La Coruña?
Yeah, Sabin Merino is the new forward from Saprissa, who was a player at Deportivo La Coruña at some point.
Do we want to say something about Deportivo La Coruña?
That's my team. That's my club.
That's where your heart is, right? That's where your heart is. Puma and one of your other teams, Calvary. This is one of the another of the brackets that we said, okay, Pumas will take it. We've seen Pumas in Liga MX, what they've done, and I think Pumas, not only because of their name, not only because it's Liga MX, but I think Pumas by far has the upper hand.
Yeah, and Pumas has gotten stronger. The arrival of the voted best CONCACAF player last year, Adalberto Carrasquilla, the Panamanian, is making Pumas a very interesting team to follow. Calvary surprised in Canada, winning the Canadian Premier League. It's going to be an interesting challenge for Pumas, but the team from Ciudad Universitaria should be the favorite here.
Now, this bracket brings one of the best games on the next round, which is Liga Deportiva Alajuelense against Pumas, right? It will be really interesting to see um, Liga Deportiva Alajuelense facing one of the Liga MX team and see if it really has grown like they want to sell it to us in Costa Rica, right? Liga Deportiva Alajuelense Los Manudos has always been one of the teams on top on La Liga Costarricense, and now it's going to be that time to say, okay, this is how we do it. This is the time for us to show that we're growing, and what better game than to be played in the Liga MX.
Yeah, and Alajuelense has qualified automatically because they won back-to-back the Central American Cup. They beat the Nicaraguan side Real Estelí. That's why they're qualified to the next round. And led by legendary coach Alexander Guimaraes, the Liga Deportiva Alajuelense has had 2 amazing years internationally, but they haven't been able to have that same success locally, where they have struggled losing the Costa Rican tournament both years. So this is going to be a great matchup as well. I believe Pumas and Alajuelense will offer a very interesting matchup. So we'll see what's ahead in the.
Will you risk it if that's the bracket? Will you risk it and said, Liga will take it or Pumas will take it, or
No, I think we spoke about this. One of the big critics of this tournament has been that there's a lot of carefulness with Mexican teams facing each other, and it's somehow designed for this to guarantee that the big teams that the superpower will meet in the next round. I'll play it safe. I think Pumas can be a very strong semifinalist in this tournament.
Now you want to go talk about all the brackets real quick before we, now we got to say something, and I have to say it right away, right out of the bat. I think this tournament, it's going to be for Mexican teams. I mean, there's a lot of disadvantages for the MLS teams. There's a lot of talks about, obviously Inter Miami has a lot of talks about it, a lot of social media or whatever. But I think when it comes to the rivalry between teams, right, not national teams, the local teams like MLS teams and Liga MX still has the upper hand over the MLS teams.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, this is a tournament built for that, with that purpose, and I believe.
But I wouldn't say necessarily that it's built for the Mexican teams, Camilo. I mean, come on.
It's a tournament built to benefit MLS, Liga MX teams, just by the process of qualifying and the amount of teams that can come into this tournament from either both those leagues. That's the first red flag that tells you this tournament is built for MLS or Liga MX teams.
Oh no, but
including the fact that an invitational tournament like the Leagues Cup gives you qualifying room for this tournament. That says it all. I do believe this tournament is built for an MLS and a Liga MX team to win it, and we should say it as it is.
But now you're playing the big team game here. I think American teams and the rest of CONCACAF, like Costa Rica and Honduras, have actually lowered their playing, their how they play now, and they lower their expectations. So it's not Mexico's fault, and it's not MLS fault that the Central American teams are actually not playing up to par with the Liga MX teams or the MLS teams. I mean, come on, we got to say things like, we got to be honest here. I think Liga MX by far has the upper hand, but it's not Liga MX's fault. I don't think the tournament is actually evolves for the Mexican teams to win it. I think, yes, the rivalry between Mexican teams and MLS teams it's becoming, or it is a big thing, but not because of this tournament is made for them. I mean, this tournament is made for everybody that participates. Otherwise, why are they here, right?
Yeah, but you see the amount of teams. That's my thing. The amount of teams that are granted qualification to this process.
They have more teams coming. Yeah. Liga MX and MLS have more teams participating on the tournament. So
it's not proportional, though. Let's go back to the brackets. We will have time for this conversation in the future. Guadalajara Chivas against Cibao. This is a bracket, Alex, that has been played before. The Chivas, the legendary Mexican team. But the amazing thing here, Alex, I mean, I don't think anyone can think that the Dominican side, Cibao, can move ahead of Chivas. So the big news here is that we can have El Clásico in round of
Yep.
16, America Chivas,
That's
Eagles versus Goats
what
can
you said.
face each other round of 16. America Chivas, the great Mexican classic, can be played in round of 16, and that's going to be a great prize to watch in this round of 16. So I don't think
Sounded
there's no doubts that Chivas will move ahead versus the Dominican team Cibao.
sounded like an NFL game when you said it. Eagles against Goats. Chivas del América against Chivas de Guadalajara against América. Águilas del América for me will take very very good game, even though the Chivas are not in their best moment right now. Cruz Azul will obviously take it in the next bracket. Seattle Antigua.
Real Hope, just FYI, Real Hope from
Oh,
Haiti will play Alex their first international appearance, so they're going to be the newest team in this tournament. Real Hope from Haiti will play their first appearance ever at the CONCACAF Champions Cup.
and that Cruz Azul will take it, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
Cruz Azul. Seattle Antigua. Antigua has been doing really good in Guatemala. Um, Obviously, not the favorite team for this bracket. However, I think if one team can actually survive this round, is Antigua in this upcoming tournament.
I disagree. I think the departure of Coach Lopez from Antigua, the guy from Spain who made this team move into semifinals in the Central American Cup, um, and the arrival of Mauricio Tapia to Antigua has made this team weaker. I think Cruz Azul Seattle Sounders will be a very exciting match in round of 16, and so I don't think there's room for a surprise here. I think the Sounders will move on.
Tigres Estelí, Cincinnati Motagua, Camilo. Your team Estelí. Estelí has been the surprise in international tournaments in CONCACAF. Estelí has actually give a lot of headaches to Mexican teams and that's the first. But it's one of those surprises, right? You never know how Real Estelí is going to do in an international tournament, and I think they can continue to prove that everything that they have done is not by accident.
Well, Real Estelí will play their 12th appearance in this tournament, and just like the Chivas Cibao, this is a match that has already taken place at the international level. Tigres beat Real Estelí 4-0, and then they tied 1-1 for the Tigres to win those cross. That was in a group stage back then, a couple of years ago. So it's a very interesting team. Real Estelí back to back runner up for the Central American Cup tournament, losing both finals back to back against Alajuelense. I think there's no questions. Tigres is obviously a great team with great players: Ibanez, Gorriarán, Nahuel Guzman. Even the fact that Gignac is now a veteran, he's still a very important player for the CONCACAF level. I think there's no doubt. I like what Motagua is doing with Diego Vasquez, regaining control of the Honduran league. Watch out, Alex. Motagua might be one of the surprises in this tournament. It's a team that has been built very thoughtfully. They lost their goal scorer, Agustin Ausmendi, moving to Godoy Cruz in Argentina. But watch it out for Motagua. Motagua could be the big surprise in this round.
But his brother stayed in Motagua, which is something that we have to highlight here. So for me, Motagua could be the surprise on this tournament and on this bracket right now. Now to finish, Salt Lake Herediano. To me, there's no question about it. Herediano, the upper hand or the favorite on this bracket.
Well, Herediano was a big surprise last tournament, kicking out Toluca from Mexico last year. This is a very strong team. It's been changing a lot. They just announced Fernan Farron, who's been an important piece of this Herediano team, moving to the Ukrainian league. But they've been able to rebuild this team and keep it very stable. I agree. I think Herediano and Motagua are the two Central American teams with some chances to move on. I think Herediano will be a very exciting matchup for the LA Galaxy in the next round. So I will choose Herediano over the Real Salt Lake as a surprise here in this tournament as well.
And just to make sure, I mean, these are predictions. We're not saying that, or we don't want to, we don't want to disregard or say anything bad about the teams that we don't think they're going to win. It's just it's predictions, right? And you guys can feel free to write to us, or to communicate with us and say, you guys are wrong. I think this is going to be different, and that's the key for this show. We want you guys that are actually listening to it and actually watching the show to participate. This is going to be a soccer community. We want to grow it as much as possible, and obviously, we're going to say things that might not be of your liking, but hey, it's our opinion. We want you guys to participate. Down the line, we're going to have a direct line for you guys to communicate with us via phone, like we do with Acción CONCACAF or whatever. But it's really important. We want to hear you. We want to know what you think about what Camilo said and what I said during the show.
Thank you for watching. This was Concacafing number 1. Please subscribe, please share, please tell your friends about this new project, and I hope.
And just to recap here, Camilo, right?
Recap: 39 times a Mexican club has won this tournament. Costa Rican team 6 times. Salvadorian teams, this has been a while ago, 3 times. U.S. teams 3 times. The 2 giants in Guatemala have won this tournament each. Comunicaciones and Municipal. 2 teams from Haiti, Violet and Racing. Olimpia, the Honduran giant, twice. Transvaal from Suriname has won this tournament twice. And Defense Force from Trinidad and Tobago has won this tournament twice as well.
I thought, according to you, this tournament was only made for the Mexican and the U.S. teams. But according to this chart, you're completely wrong.
Well, non-Mexican clubs won this tournament years ago, Alex.
Does not surprise me. Camilo, is that it for today?
You know what? Keep CONCACAFing.
Keep CONCACAFing. Camilo, thank you very much. I'm Alex Vanegas. See you next time. Thank you for watching.